Hey, did I hear you're doing the Open? I'm signing up for the Open because it's my yearly chance to display my dominance to all my friends and enemies at the CrossFit affiliate and on the leaderboard. I'm in for the Open because I don't have any friends outside of CrossFit, so I know all my friends will be at the gym doing the same workouts with me. I'm in for the Open because I love competition, and this is my yearly benchmark to see my progress. Never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. Forget everything I just said. This sucks.
Good evening. Welcome to the spin. I guess technically good morning to Miss Lucy Campbell.
I mean, just basically midlight, but it's fine.
Are you happy to be back home?
Yes and no. I mean, it's 6 degrees here, Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's cold, and I'm not.
It's about 40.
Yeah, 40. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold enough.
That's what it is where I'm at. I mean, that's.
Yeah, but you've also not just come from Miami.
Okay. Well.
It wasn't that warm in Miami, though.
No, it wasn't, to be fair. But I was actually grateful for that on the individual days because I wouldn't have loved the heat.
Yeah, I appreciate you staying up late. You took a flight yesterday afternoon and got back in.
Arrived this morning.
Wow. So you're Did you get any sleep, or are you trying to stay awake and trying to regulate your
I tried to sleep overnight, but it did not happen on the plane. So I'm just sort of relying on the fact that after this, I'll be so tired that I'm just ready for bed.
There you go. We'll make sure to just,
don't send me to sleep
here.
But,
fall asleep. Yeah, there you go. So you are the 2025 TYR Wodapalooza champion.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I watched a video from you at Marbella Championship, I guess 3 months ago, your first competition back, and you had you were cleaning it in a way that you had a one-handed zombie view, like you're catching it that way.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
did you ever get to the point where you're like, I think I can clean my one rep like this?
That's 7 kilos off my one rep. So it doesn't. It's not hard when your one rep is not that heavy. So. But yeah, no, it was very close.
Like, I might be able to snatch this too.
Oh, look who's there. Well, who's leaving? Miss Abigail.
Sorry, she's taking Abby away.
Oh, good. So I guess it was almost 3 years ago. You step off the floor of the CrossFit Games, and we know you have wrist issues going into the 23 season. You sit out. It's been 2 years. Can you just briefly share with everybody like what you've gone through to get back to just even on the competition floor, let alone winning TYR Wodapalooza?
Yeah, it's long. I'll try and give you as brief a long explanation as possible. But so initially we just thought that, like, obviously I had pain running into the games, as everyone does. Everyone has issues running into the games. It's towards the end of the season and everything like that. And so we were just like, well, after having a bit of time off the wrist, it's probably just inflammation. It'll recover and everything like that. And so had the time off and it didn't. And actually when I got back into training, it was feeling worse. And so that was a sort of start of me being like, okay, I should probably go and actually get this looked at properly. So I had an X-ray and an MRI on it and nothing came up other than just inflammation. So I went through a course of 2 cortisol injections under 2 different surgeons, because the first one wasn't really sport specific, and then there was I went to see another one after that who worked with like divers and stuff like that in the GB setup, and neither of those cortisol injections worked, and again actually like found that I made it worse, and so that took me up towards like I think December, January time of 2023. And so that was the thing that made me realize that actually I probably wouldn't be doing the season, because we were like 2 months out or a month out and things were really quite bad. So I went to a 3rd surgeon, I think by this point, 4th surgeon, because there was another backstory with a different surgeon. Anyway, so 4th surgeon, who was like, well, you've had the injections, let's just go in and see, like arthroscopy, so like really small incisions on my wrist, keyhole surgery, as like a debridement surgery, so basically trying to take out any gunk that's in there or anything like that, but also as exploratory surgery to see if they could actually see what was going on. So I went through that in March 2023, and basically when I came round from that operation, my mum was like by my bed and I was like, oh, like how did it go? It should have been a very routine operation. So I was like, first ever surgery, so I was nervous going into it, but came round and mum basically wouldn't really tell me much, and she was like, oh, Mr. Hayton wants to see you. And I was like, you know, when your stomach just dropped, and I was like, oh, this is
Yeah, Lucy, we're gonna need to take the hand. We're gonna need to chop that hand off. This wrist is useless.
Yeah, literally. I was just like, oh god, this is not a good sign. Anyway, so the surgeon comes in and he's like, your lunate bone is broken, so it's a really quite uncommon bone in your wrist to fracture. Normally it's scaphoid and everything that's on this side, so it was on this side. And he was like, but it's not just fractured, it's like multiple pieces of fracture. So the footage that he showed me was basically him like flicking this bit of bone around inside my wrist, and so all these like bits were fractured and then just like floating around inside there.
Do you have any idea how it happened?
So this is the thing, like basically
Wall
there's
walks.
a
I knew it.
It's good enough reason for me not to
Dan
do it.
22 Open. Yeah. So there's a condition called Kienbock's disease that basically only has issues with the lunate bone. So it cuts off the blood circulation.
What a weird
to
disease.
the lunate bone. It's very strange. Yeah.
He really likes that
So-
lunate bone, Tyler.
That's all we're after.
Listen, this disease, it just really gets after
pinpoint
that
it,
lunate
target
bone. Yeah.
So they don't really know much about this disease.
Other than it
not
likes the
many
lunate
people-
bone.
Yeah. Not many people have it, and so they don't really know the cause of it. But basically, something happens whereby the blood circulation to the lunate bone is cut off, which basically means that the lunate bone dies, and then when it fractures really badly. And so I went to a final surgeon, because basically the surgeon that had just gone in for this wrist was like, well, I don't know how to fix this. You're gonna have to find a new sport, because like I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how you've done what you've done so far. And I was literally just there like, right, okay, like
That's
chance,
not a good
basically.
answer.
Yeah. And so he was like, but if you were able to operate normally before, let's just try like cutting off the pain signals, basically. So he suggested cutting. There's a nerve that only serves your wrist bones. So he suggested just cutting that and basically operating as usual. So I went to see a surgeon about that, and we did some tests, and they didn't go that well, and then he basically ghosted me and sort of just passed me on to another surgeon.
What?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you, like, you're in England, right? And so you're kind of on like universal healthcare, right? Like, does that?
Yeah. Well, so I have private healthcare on top of that. So this whole process would have taken years had I been going through the NHS.
I mean, it did take years. No offense.
Yeah, I know. It would have
More
taken
years.
more than the 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, ended up obviously getting pied off by that surgeon. Went to a final one who was actually a recommendation of Emma McQuaid, who her and Briggs had. I'm getting all sorts of suggestions with this mic. Someone's telling
You're
me
fine.
to keep it
You're
close.
fine.
Just
You're fine.
ignore it.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
You guys
Yeah.
can just get over it.
Yeah.
So he basically scanned both my wrists and found that my radius in my right side, which was my injured side, is longer than my ulnar, which it wasn't on my left side. And that's quite uncommon for it to be not the case on one side, but to be there on the other side. So he basically was like, look, I've not got a lot of experience with this, but I think that this might work. And he basically suggested cutting out a section of my radius to make it the same size as my ulnar, and then plating and pinning it, which is essentially what happened. They went in, I had 5 millimeters of my radius taken out, and now I've got a plate and pin in there. And he was like, at best it's a 70% chance, but obviously because we took so long to get to that point, he was like, that's why it's not really any more than that. So yeah, then just a long old recovery process, like, and I think the hardest part about it was the fact that like recovery wasn't actually guaranteed. It's not like
You're experimenting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could do everything and still not be able to get back. And so it's just like, it was just like head down and know that if I didn't at least try, then the guaranteed answer was no. So that's where it's been the last 2 years. Yeah, that surgery, the radial shortening osteotomy, was in back end of July 2024. 2023.
Is the lunate?
Wait, what?
Is the lunate bone still in there, just floating around?
Yeah, we think so. We're not 100% sure. Basically,
It might not be.
it's actually crazy.
It's around there somewhere.
He was like, well, the bone is dead, but the case that the bone sits in, the periosteum, is still there. It still has a blood circulation and it's still intact. So actually, the knock-on effect of basically intentionally cutting a bone, intentionally breaking a bone, is that you
It'll
get this like
calcify.
blood flow. Yeah, exactly. Blood flow response, hormone response, and everything like that. That actually, because the wrist is such a poorly circulated area anyway, he was like, it could help to grow it back. So I don't know whether it actually has. I'm just sort of, when they want me to have an X-ray, I have an X-ray, and if there's any bad news, then I'm sure they'll ask me for a follow-up.
I have the same problem with my lungs. Like one of my, they just die, and I don't know what's wrong with them.
That's why you can't run.
Yeah, it's an affliction of mine.
I'll give you 10% of my lungs, and you give me some strength.
I would take that deal all day.
So that was in July. Was the recovery somewhat linear, or was there like a point of it where it's like, yeah, this isn't like the bad 30% is going to be my way?
I honestly was trying as hard as I could not to think about that, because it was just like, I knew that even if I didn't want to do the rehab for training, I would have to do the rehab for life, because it was like the thing that got me down the most before I actually had the surgeries was the fact that it didn't just impact training. Like everyone can deal with niggles when it's mainly just impacting training, but it was like, I live on my own and chopping up food was really painful, and like unlocking and locking doors and stuff like that. And like, it was just making life miserable. So I was just sort of fully committed to the process of rehab in the hope that then like number one, day-to-day life would get better, because I was like, I cannot live with the pain that was in my wrist beforehand, because the whole picture of what I had in what my life would be, like being active my whole life, picking up kids, picking up grandkids, like all of that stuff. I was like, I'm not picking up a kid if my wrist is in this much pain the whole time. So it was like, that was the thing that sort of scared me the most. And that was almost the thing that committed me the most to the process of the rehab initially, was that it was like, if I don't do this now, all of that stuff outside of training will still be there, and it will still get worse, and it will still be really painful. And then when actually like all of that day-to-day stuff started to feel a little bit better, and then it was like, okay, so like what training movements can start to feel a bit better. And then when all of the training movements were starting to feel a bit better, it was like, okay, so maybe I can start to think about competing again and all of that sort of stuff. And then when I did Marbella, and that was it's a high level comp, but it's not a Wodapalooza, Dubai, Rogue type comp. So when I did that, and I could see where I was versus like that standard of field and those sorts of workouts and that sort of thing, then it was like, okay, well, let's see if I can return to the top of it. And yeah, it was but it was all the life stuff that really sort of kept me committed to it all.
Was there a moment that you had to have like a sit down with yourself where you're like, okay, I might not be able to train this way anymore? Like, what was your approach to CrossFit with that thought in mind, like that you couldn't be a competitive athlete anymore? And were you still going to go to the CrossFit gym and do your stuff or do anything?
Yeah, I mean, there were several times where like I sort of questioned what the hell I was doing. And I think as well, like that came more and more at peak times where it was like I'd get dropped by a sponsor and I was like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, how am I doing this? When even like, it was affecting my job. It was affecting the way that I coach. I couldn't demo stuff. I couldn't do all that sort of stuff properly. And like, I was lucky at the time that I was in a gym setup where, all of the members had pretty much seen the whole of my journey. And so they knew why I wasn't able to demo stuff and that sort of thing. And so that made it a little bit easier. But like, it definitely made me question whether I could, I think, be around it and train it in that way. Because like, as soon as I found CrossFit, honestly, I was like, this is the way that I want to train for the rest of my life. Like when I was a swimmer, it was like, I was a distant swimmer. I was a, 10-minute to 2-hour event kind of swimmer, but I was almost too strong versus the rest of those girls. But then I was too fit to just be a 200, 400 meter swimmer. Like I was this weird sort of hybrid athlete. Yeah. And so it was like, when I found CrossFit, I was like, oh, this is a mix of everything. I need to be everything that I've done so far with, gymnastics and like being fit enough from swimming, but I also get to be strong and get to be fit. And also the girls that I'm looking at are like what I've always wanted to look like, and like all of those sorts of things. So having this injury really like completely threw off what I thought would be my method of training and all of that sort of thing. Because like I could switch to Ironman if I wanted to, but I really don't, because I've done the time of staring at a black line and being on my own and doing the really boring like monostructural stuff for hours and hours and hours on end. And then I found this way of, training that it was so interesting and there was something new. And even when you think that you're good at something, all of a sudden they'll throw it in something else and you're like, oh, I'm shit now. And it was fun like that. Where swimming, it was just like I was just grinding up and down the pool. But I do think that the thing that I always came back to was the answer will be no if you don't at least try. If you don't at least try to keep going, the answer will be no. And like being completely honest, I think coming up to, I can't remember when it was, but it was within the last sort of 4 to 6 months with my coach. I was like,
who is your coach?
Will be Cyril Grecky. He's a independent coach he lives in Manchester. He was part of Red Pill Training when that was like James Jousey.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, this is the decider season for me, because I didn't think that I could do that anymore. Like, I didn't think that I could handle the sponsor disappointment. I didn't know how I would keep up with everyone else if I wasn't able to get some sponsors, and I had to move more towards like coaching more intensely or finding a real job. Like, I hated and I still hate the financial stress of being an athlete and trying to be an athlete when you're not necessarily one of the big names who has all the big sponsors and everything like that. And like, so that I was just like, I'm done with the stress of having to rely on stuff that actually, like, I really appreciate the sponsorships, but sponsorships are quite fickle because you can get dropped like that and it's not a reliable income. And it was just like, it was stressing me out more than I was getting from it all at that point in time. And now obviously it's potentially a complete flip, and like I've just earned more money than like I think I've earned in my working career. I don't know what to do with something. Like, honestly.
Spend it. I recommend spending it. Actually, if you can send it to me, John and I are gambling. We can probably double or triple.
Hey now. Hey. You sound so shady. Lucy, if you give me this, I will triple it. Just watch
Don't
what
even worry
happens.
about it. John's a lock. Everything he picks is good. There's nothing to worry about. It's good to go.
That Super Bowl's a lock.
I'm not listening. I am plus about 400% of initial expenditure in our gambling, but
hey,
I'm not going to take your money.
Bring up our next bet because there's so much potential.
I'm super excited for it. But go ahead. Hey, if we win on our next bet, Lucy will make the same amount of money you just made. Let me put it like that. But
we won't tell you we won, but there will be signs.
There'll be signs. There'll be signs. Yeah. What did training look like when you were like on the journey to rehab? Just a vicious squat cycle, or
just biking constantly?
Yeah, it literally was like, I was doing a lot of leg work to the point where like, so I'm not one of the strongest athletes in the field. Everyone can see that, like solid 36th place finish on that clean event, but it's, you know, my ability to rep out at high percentages of what my max is one of my strongest things. And so I think my actual 1 rep max whilst I was doing that squat cycle probably only went up by like 5 kilos, but I went from 130 to 135 as my 1 rep max kilos. This is, and then I went from
no way.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's about 296, guys. 296,
okay,
305.
All right.
All of a sudden, I could squat 130 for 8 reps, and like that shouldn't be possible. And so like it was just a lot of that sort of stuff, and then that sort of carried through really well actually in terms of like leg endurance work and that sort of thing, because I was doing just like Bulgarian split squats, walking lunges, safety bar squats, zombie front squats, back squats, just all sorts, and any kind of erg work that I could. So mainly obviously C2 bike, and a bit of echo when I got to the point where I could actually like rest my cast on the bike and sort of push it through my cast. We found a way of doing like ski erg where I could like band my cast to the ski and try and do it that way. But then like I also wasn't allowed to grip stuff properly, so I couldn't like hold on to the ski and do it. And so I had to like try and relax my fingers as much as possible, but find a way to like generate some sort of force through it.
Oh, I thought you had somebody like wrap your arm up to the ski, so
just
like
tape it.
You couldn't get out if you wanted to. Like, you know, you're just there for 10K no matter until somebody comes and frees you.
Oh dear. Yeah. Being honest, like I feel like I've just blanked out half of that whole phrase. Like, you know, when it's just like you go through something that at the time feels so miserable that I just like can't remember most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so then you go to Miami last week, and
How fit did you think you were?
yeah,
I honestly had no idea. Like I will always back myself from a cardiovascular fitness perspective, but I think one of the things about injury is that you are constantly feeling like actually the field is just running away from you. Like you've got no data points, no checkpoints. And also then when I started, like I've loved commentating, but when I started commentating, it sort of created this distance between me and them. And I was like looking at these girls and like, it was like I was turning back into a fan of them, and I didn't see them as people that I could compete with anymore. They just felt too far away. And so then when I saw the field at Wodapalooza, and I was like, holy shit, like this is stacked. Like I've not seen it that stacked for a while. And
especially on the women's side. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the first year that the women's side, at least at the top, was just as good as the men's side, I think.
yeah, like it was crazy. And like not just seeing the field, but seeing the workouts and how actually challenging the workouts would be for me personally and my wrist and the things that I've only recently brought back into training or not really brought back into it at all had it not been for this event. I literally had no idea where I would sit. And I think almost that's one of the things that pissed me off about the rankings the most. Not the ranking. Yeah, sorry, John.
Hey, no. This is a great.
Not just
great.
you, to be fair.
No, I just want to say I was the highest of all the rankers. I just want to say,
19th.
yeah,
Woo-hoo!
I'm just saying, I believed in you the most. I didn't believe in you very much, but I believed in you the most out of everybody else.
Oh dear. But like, I think one of the things that pissed me off the most about that was that it touched a nerve with me that could genuinely be where I finish, and I did not want to finish there. And like, it made me like sit with myself a little bit and be like, I have to be okay if that is where I finish. If I've done absolutely everything that I can, if I've delivered every event in the way that I know that I can deliver it at this point in time to my best ability, I have to be okay with the fact that that might be the outcome, even though that's not what I want. And I actually think that made it better for me going into it, because I knew that if I do deliver it in the way that I can, and that is the outcome, that is a true performance of where I'm at with this field, with this. No, Barkley, I'm not. with these workouts.
It's not Barkley, it's the computer. That
I
you
know,
don't
I
like.
know. We did talk.
He's got such a cop out. It was the computer. I can't say anything.
I
about
made
that.
the rules for the computer, but it was the computer.
Oh dear. But yeah, I knew that they wouldn't be great workouts. I said to people, in fact, I said to Tyler going in,
Yeah, they were pretty
like,
crappy for you. I agree.
I had to be. I don't know whether you're being sarcastic, but I genuinely thought they were going to be terrible for me. So, but it was going to be the most harsh evaluation of where I was going to be at. So that's why I was so surprised, because I was like, for me, those workouts could not have gone much worse. Like there were quite a few heavy elements in there, with the heavy dumbbell, with the lift being such like a proportionately biased event in that field, I guess. I was
For
like,
6 events.
Right, so with-
1/6 of the total points.
Yeah,
And that's the thing.
17%. Yeah.
like when I saw that event come up, I was like, right, there's no way I'm like, I would have been buzzing to finish top 10. And then when I saw that, I was like, all right, yeah, it's probably not going to happen, because you don't come top 10 with a nearly last place finish. That's
Well,
what
you
I
say
thought.
that, but
Hey, and
Rich,
think about that.
Rich
Think
tried
about that. She's not Rich Froning though, Tyler. Stop. No offense, Lucy. But think about that. You took a 36th
Yeah.
and just beat down Laura Horvath, right? Like, I want you to think, Laura Horvath has not gotten beat in a competition that she's done the full competition in 3 years. I'm not counting semifinals because
She's
when you have your
the-
spot, you have your
What
spot. No, she won 22 and she won 23. And she didn't
But
do
she did
20
the whole event
well, I'm not Tia beat her, not including Tia.
Yeah.
She has
Okay.
not been beaten by anybody. Yeah, you can't count Tia either. She hasn't been beaten by anybody except Tia. You're the first person to beat her in 3 years, except for Tia.
That's kind of crazy.
With a 36.
What's crazy
Think
is
about that. Think about that. Think if you just put freaking 15 pounds on. I know it's the death of you to do that, but if you just put 15 pounds of strength on, what the freak happens then?
Yeah,
Huh?
it's crazy. I'm looking at the leaderboard. I have to go all the way down to 11th place Brick Wells to have somebody finish one event worse than Lucy.
Yeah, in the top 3, the lowest place finish besides Lucy's was a 22nd in the top 3.
Yeah. So despite a 36th, you still like.
Now, don't get me wrong. You
overcame
got to get stronger, girl. Like it's not
But-
going to
Oh, I
happen
know.
again. It's not going to happen again without that, right? But the fact that you are able to do that with a 36 in 6 events, it's kind of scary to everybody else. Like I don't know if you feel like more confident, but if I just got beat by a girl who took last place in an event, and that's how much better she was than everybody and all the rest of it,
everything else. Yeah.
that's scary because
It's alarming.
that person's not supposed to win, right? The one event's supposed to knock her out, right?
Well, that is what I thought, to be honest. That's why I wasn't like too caught up on going into day 2 in the lead, because I was like, well, the strength event's coming, so we'll see. And then the strength event came, and I ended up coming out of that. I think I don't even know where I finished coming out of that.
I think you were third.
Right.
Amatal was
and, like,
first. Laura was second.
that's the thing
Yeah,
that to me, I was like, how have I managed to only get 20 points on that event and I'm still in the top 3?
Right.
I was like, that was because I didn't look at the leaderboard after most of the events, to be fair. And I definitely didn't look after the clean event because I was like, I've got
Had to
2 more
sit
events
down.
to go. Just see how it
Let
goes.
me decide from this.
Yeah.
So we'll move to the last event, and Laura is ahead of you. Like
Greatest moment ever in Wodapalooza.
Walk through that last round of 5s where like you start to pass her, like you see her, like she came down for what, 3? Did you notice that that had happened? And
No, so I hadn't. I couldn't see her really on the rings, but I heard the floor commentator say it, and then as soon as he said it, then I heard the cheer when I stayed on, and I was like, "Holy shit! You cannot drop now." And the thing is that, like, my plan was always to go unbroken on that last set of 5, so I knew that I had it in me because of the way that I had played that workout, that provided, nothing untoward happened. And to be fair, my grips were ripping on that last event and I was very nervous the whole way through. But like, provided nothing like that happened, I was like, you just got to really do everything that you can to lock out this last rep, because oh my God, my pecs after those 40 bench press were not okay. And I literally was in the warm-up area. I never once I start warming up, because my coach wasn't with me, once I started warming up, I generally wouldn't message him. But after that, I did one ring dip and message him. And I was like, Cyril, my pecs feel awful. My dip feels so bad. He was like, don't worry, everyone else will feel the same. And I was like, okay, just remember that everyone has done 40 bench press up until this point. And so, yeah, literally just gave as big of a hip drive as I could to try and get me as high on top of the rings as I could on that last rep. And I'll be honest, it was, I wasn't sure if the judge would give me that rep. It was a drive lockout and it was just about there.
It was better than Laura's though. Just if you go back and watch, I mean, they were being pretty lenient on her too.
Hey, 2, I know that I locked it out.
So you cross. Obviously, you need help from Laura and Emma both. At what point do you realize that you got enough in between you and Laura to win?
Did you?
Or yeah.
No. No, I had no idea. I was buzzing that I had like won that heat. That wasn't me celebrating an event win. That was me celebrating like
The win.
that was just me being like, oh my God, that event went way better than I was expecting that to go.
By the way, you were a second from winning the event. It was a second. It was like 1 second. Run across the line, girl. What are you doing?
I did.
Celebrate. No.
I did.
You went like, oh snap! I'm Queen Dingaling. Like that's what you did. Laura's failing in the background. Don't get me wrong. One of the greatest sights I've ever seen. Laura failing in the background, and you just, are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Like, don't get me wrong. Amazing. But if that 1 second was the difference, run across the line. That's all I'm saying.
So 2 things.
If you're going to be this good, Lucy, we got to start doing these things correctly, okay?
I didn't know. I didn't know what the heat before had done. This is my point. Like I was so like, I do what I need to do. I had no idea what the fastest time going into that was. But secondly, there's no bloody timer on the field. So I had no idea what the time was.
Of course there wasn't.
Listen, I have no control over that. I'm sorry.
I heard they tried to put one on the field, but it just didn't happen.
I mean, they had a giant jumbotron. They might have had a place to put it on, but whatever.
Like, look, 19th place. I don't care if you celebrate across the line, but I mean, if we're in the running, we got to do everything we can.
If you just done what I did, you would be celebrating across the line.
No,
too.
after I had crossed the line, I'd be celebrating.
I don't believe that for a second.
I give a little bam right to Laura's face after I crossed the line. That's what I would have done. But I'll never be in that spot. So don't worry.
So when did you figure it out? What did they just? I mean, were you waiting on the announcement, or did somebody tell you ahead of time?
Barkley ruined it.
Yeah. No, he didn't actually. But my coach, I called my coach and he was like, do you know where you came? And I was like, no, I don't want anyone to tell me. And he just said, well, I think it'll be a nice surprise. And to me, a nice surprise would have been just like finishing on the podium, not winning the whole thing. And then it was when Laura's name got announced, that was when I was like, oh shit. Because the thing is as well, like I was stood with like Chase and Tommy, like the guys from the broadcast team, because you know I do both sometimes, and they were like starting to like move away from me, and I was like, why am I stood on my own now? Because obviously when it comes to like the top two, and this is the thing that I wish I didn't know from broadcast, but now I know, is that they'll obviously have a camera on both of them just so that you get the reactions on both of them. And so I was like, oh God, okay, like we'll see how this goes. Anyway, then obviously Laura's name got announced and I was like, I do not know how this has happened. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
So right after that, I guess the next day or a couple days after that, you signed on to World Fitness Project. But you are not the only World Fitness Project athlete on this show right now. I'm officially a challenger. I signed up for the qualifier.
He's in the women's division, so you got problems coming.
You're looking at Brianna's spin over there, Lucy, right? He means business.
Yeah, watch out. How'd that come about? Did they reach out to you right after?
Yeah, literally like same night. I got a message from Will in my DMs, I guess. And then I also got a message from my manager. And she was like, WFP wants to meet with you. Well, they said initially tomorrow, but obviously that was the start of the team event. So I was like, I can't meet with them tomorrow. And and to be honest, like the whole time when WFP got announced, I was like, this is such a shit year for me to not have been to the games and to not have been on the scene, because like I think the whole of the last 2 years it's made me realize that I want to compete more. Like I had only up until this season, I guess, with Marbella and Wodapalooza, like I'd only really done Wodapalooza, Lowlands, and then the games. And I was like, there's so many events that I would kick myself if I don't get to do. And so when that came up, I was like, this sounds epic. Like, this is it. Anyway, so I had been messaging my manager the whole weekend being like, are they here? Are they seeing this? Because like, I want to, just in case, if there's any spots, because I know there's spots left, like just
write some notes. Just
And so yeah, that was how that happened. I met with them very briefly on the Saturday, and then met them on Monday as well.
Nice. And then are you doing the Open game season too? Or are you gonna try to do everything?
Yeah, my plan is to do the Open at least. I need to talk with my coach, but we're definitely thinking Open and online semi-finals. And I have really been toying about whether to do that. I think I definitely wanted to do the Open because obviously I work at an affiliate. I see the value of the affiliate. I see the value of the Open for the affiliate, and I love being a part of that atmosphere, even if I have to do my Open submission not in that setup, because there's a lot going on when the classes are doing it. But I wanted to support that, and I wanted to get involved with that because ultimately, regardless of what happened at the games, the CrossFit methodology is something that I believe in, and it was something that that got me really excited about getting into CrossFit. So yeah, that's the plan at the moment, is Open, online semi-finals, WFP events from there, and just sort of see what happens. Like, there's no guarantees on anything, so you just gotta take the opportunities that you can, really.
It is interesting to look at because in quarterfinals in 22, you got 17th. So just extrapolating that out to in affiliate semifinals, that's just outside of qualifying. And then you got 5th at Lowlands. So it's like, if you have gotten better, which it seems like you have since you won Wodapalooza, that does leave light that you could possibly qualify through the in affiliate semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's a risk to not look at doing some of the thingy ones. Although actually, I might be doing Wadland Fest as well. So this is the thing; we just need to work it out, because it's
just do the
Wadland
Open
Fest.
and go from there, or Wadland and then go from there.
Yeah, Wadland Fest, and then just play it by ear, because the European ones, they're all back to back, and they're either side of that online semi-final, so it's not great timings for any of that, and it's definitely not great timings for the European athletes that are in the WFP setup. But you do what you can. Thank you, Colton.
Why are you so excited about WFP? We have not had a WFP athlete on. I know I framed that in a bad way, but I don't mean it in a bad way.
No, I get it. I get it.
Are you excited for WFP?
Are you asking me, Tyler? Or
yeah, I just want to get that straight. Yeah,
I heard the World Fitness Project just signed you. Are you excited about it, Lucy? Tell us about it. There you go. I got you.
So I think for me, no matter what sport I've wanted to do, I've wanted to do it in a professional setup. So there was a time where I was coming into representing GB on a senior circuit in open water swimming, and I was getting funded. So I've experienced what it's like to be a funded athlete where you're actually funded for the sport, not with any conditions as to, tying it to social media or anything like that. And I think for me, I've wanted to get back to that with the sponsorships and everything like that. I think I do struggle with putting out stuff that is good on social media, and I don't have a photographer. I don't have a videographer that's at the gym that I train at. All of that stuff, it's not something that's easy for me to produce. And so my Instagram doesn't look sexy. I'm not going to earn a massive living just from what my Instagram looks like. And so to have the opportunity to, go to an event where you are supported to get to the events, which is why Rogue has always been a bucket list event. having a base level salary, stuff like that just makes the life of an athlete a little bit easier. I think that's the thing that intrigues me with the WFP. Plus, on top of the fact that obviously what I've just said with, just being able to, after 2 years out, take advantage of the opportunities and actually compete a little bit more on event. I would kick myself if I was sitting on the sidelines for this.
Mm-hmm.
So
we've been critical. I think some people have unfairly said that it was all negative. I think it's been just critical.
I think it's been justified critiques.
Yeah. Have you heard some of those critiques? And if you have, how do you feel about them?
Yeah. I don't know what to say here.
You don't have to answer.
No, it's fine.
You already signed the contract. Just say what you want. like he can't take it back.
I said just need to be careful of what I say. I didn't say I was going to answer. So, I think it's not fair to assume that the WFP came solely out of what happened at the games. And I do think that there's a lot of that where it feels like we're in this space in CrossFit that is quite divided at this point in time. And there's a lot of judgment and criticism that are coming to the athletes that have signed for the WFP, because some of them might have signed for the WFP off the back of what happened at the games. Mm-hmm. And some of us haven't. And at the same time, that doesn't mean that I agree with what has happened with the fallout of what's happened at the games. But that's not my sole driving factor to signing with the WFP. And I get what people are saying about attendance and everything like that, and the spectators, and like, how is it going to be sustainable and all of that sort of thing. And at the same time, CrossFit has those questions. Like, so how is WFP any different in those sorts of challenges?
That is very fair. We have not said that WFP only came because of
it didn't come out of being
no,
organic.
but there's a general defense.
But there is that's floating around.
Yeah,
for sure.
I got what you're saying. Like, CrossFit changes their season every year, right? Like, and we have to adapt to it, right?
That's also hard to deal with, because that's even hard for sponsors. They don't know what they're signing up for. What are they sponsoring?
The athlete.
The unknown and the unknowable is what they're sponsoring.
I would say, like, the games is so organic, though, the way it grew, and WFP came out of, we're going to start a new league, right? Regardless, I'm not even talking about like off of the games or anything, but it's like, we're going to start a new league versus this organic thing that became the Super Bowl of fitness. And it is impossible. And I want it to succeed. I would argue I'm the most optimistic one about the WFP on the panel. But I'm agnostic. I do think it is impossible for those two not to in some way clash with each other. There will be athletes that do not make the games because of WFP reasons. It's going to happen one way or the other, either. And I don't know what those ways are, but I promise you it's going to clash in some way. And it's hard not to see that clash with the CrossFit Games. And I don't fault anybody for doing it. Again, I want it to be great. I hope it's just another opportunity and everybody likes it and it's great. But it's hard not to see it as trying to rival the games in some way, no matter what they say. Will is like, we're just another opportunity. We're going to avoid the games altogether. We're not going to run into anything y'all are doing. We're not going to run into it, but we're just going to schedule all of our stuff exactly when you're doing all your stuff. You see what I'm saying, Lucy? Like that's where I think the criticism is coming from. It feels shady where it's coming from.
Let
Does
me
that make
back you
sense?
into a corner, Lucy, and force you to answer a question.
No. I'm speaking
And
as
half
like
the time
honest.
it's WFP.
No, yeah. If you want to get your WFP hat on to answer this
Well,
question,
Right,
Did you get a hat?
Will, tap.
yeah. Hey, Will got a story of him in some freaking Firefest mansion with his stuff, you know, like. But I think that's where it's coming from.
I get
Is
what
that-
you're
is
saying.
that
I do
fair?
get what you're saying. I think that, it is a different opportunity. It's not the same as what happened at the games with what they're offering at the games. And I think as well, like, I'm not saying that I don't care about the title of fittest on earth, but they're not claiming to be fittest on earth. I like the fact that with the WFP, I can see myself making a living as an athlete. And that's what I want to, that's what my goal is. With the games, it's so hard to actually make a decent amount of money that it happens once a year. How do I make a living as an athlete with an event that happens once a year, where actually it's such a high level event? And it's not that this is not going to be a high level event, but I honestly did not perform to where I wanted to perform or should have performed at the games. And the amount that I won, 300K a year isn't bad, but it's also only the winner gets that. Like, it's...
Hey, we're with you.
I
Lucy.
can't live off 20K.
Don't worry about Barry.
Don't look at them.
Okay. Yeah, like you look.
Get out of there.
Read Barry's last name, and you shouldn't be interacting with him.
Oh, I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm with you. And I want it to work for y'all so badly. I hope it's just something that gives you guys money every year. You know, that 30K eventually evolves into 50K. It eventually evolves into 70K. And then you're making 70K a year doing what you love. All your job is to be the fittest thing you can be. And then the games is always the Super Bowl of fitness, right? And then you still have that season. It's just hard for me to see them not clash in some way. But I hope it works out like that, right?
So I think the thing is, like, and I know that people aren't loving, the comparisons with other sports and things like that, but you look at other sports and they compete significantly more than we compete. And we're not talking about them clashing. Like, I've just been to a Miami Heat game. I don't know if you can tell. And they were they were playing on the Monday and then on the Wednesday. And then I don't even know where their next one was, but they'd already played like multiple games in that. And I know that obviously it's different sports, it's different demands and everything like that. But why can't we just put a few more comps in and not talk about it clashing and not talk about it interfering?
Girl,
just find a
I'm
different way to do it.
100% on board. I'm 100% on board. Jeff Adler just told me 4 days is too much for me to do in a row. I can't do individual because it's too hard on my body, right? There's too many Dallin is crying and Justin because they're competing 11 times this year, right? 11 times. That's everything y'all been asking for. And like it's happening and it's already causing problems. Now Jeff can't do individual Wodapalooza because he says it's too much for his body when we all know he's just scared of Austin. We know this. I know you know this, right?
Obviously.
You see what I'm saying, girl? I'm with you. I'm with you so much, Lucy. It's just I think none of the athletes, none of them are like, I'll put you in that boat. You did great at Wodapalooza. I'm so happy for you, but I'm gonna put you in that boat. Are acknowledging like there's problems that could arise from it, and like we're just trying to be as prepared as possible for those problems. You go ahead and roll your eyes, girl. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. Okay, watch what happens.
So hard not to be like, are you not seeing that we have sat in problems with CrossFit for the last however many years?
Yeah, but that's just how it runs. Like it's
you can't just say that too, though, John.
How is that allowed with CrossFit, but that's not allowed with the WFP?
I think you have a point.
I just would love people to get behind it until they give you a reason to not. You know what I mean? Like, get behind it until something happens. If something happens.
Listen.
Yeah, and now that's where I lie. I'm wanting to work. I just think everybody's looking through it through rose-colored glasses, thinking it's going to be a merry time. And when somebody like, you pick a name like Alex Gazan, sure, doesn't make the games, right? I hope Alex makes the games. If Alex watching, I'm sorry for picking your name. But when she doesn't make the games because she did a World Fitness Project, and then she's got the next thing the next week, and that's the one where she has to qualify, and she can't do it because
But she takes third.
has to do World Fitness Project, right? And she came 15th in the online semifinal, and she didn't do NorCal. She probably should have, and then ended up not being able. She doesn't go to the games. I bet you there's 3 or 4 cases like that happens. And that's upsetting because I want truly just the fittest people in the world to be there. And they're not going to make it because like stuff like that is going to happen because of the World Fitness Project. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But and I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I think some stuff's going to happen.
Stop talking, John. We get it.
Do you not, though? I'm asking you. Do you think everything's just going to be great and nothing like that's going to happen?
Do I think that people who probably should qualify for the games aren't going to qualify for the games? Yeah, probably, because it happens every year.
And
also-
John's looking like that's a fair.
I'm talking about top tier people are not going to make the games.
Yeah,
not people who are on the borderline.
I'm not
I would
talking
say
about
this year,
people that are on
though,
board
like Savon said, this is the hardest year to qualify
It is.
for the games.
for the games.
Yep.
It's savage. It's really hard. And also, don't forget that they've reduced the numbers down.
That's what
So
I mean.
not
It's down
only
to
is-
30.
Yeah. So there was
The
always
cuts are
going to
harder,
be
but
people
then
that
also
didn't.
the spots are tougher to get now.
Like top 2, and there's 2 European events.
Mhm.
That's so hard. And the thing is that, like, you can say, oh, like, our events are open. Every single one of our events is open. It's not
Yep.
limited to European athletes, which I don't agree with. I think that if they've got places that are limited, almost every other continent is not or has an event
Limited.
that's limited to only their continent athletes. How do we not have at least something that is limited to our own athletes?
And
And how do we feel that disrespected again as a European field?
I think that was on you all. I don't think that was
I'll contact the
CrossFit.
organisers. Dan Shaffy.
contact. I asked you about WFP because we've gotten bashed for being critical, and I think a lot of the athletes have taken the stance of like, let's just be positive about it until we see a negative. And like, I don't know, like I'm an accountant. I just look at things as I see them. And what I've grown to respect from you, especially watching you on Pedro's, is like you seem to have a very level head about stuff. And so I just wanted to ask to have an honest conversation of like, are you seeing the potential for negatives? And then how do you feel about it? That's the biggest thing that I think that we're aggravated about as
Did
hosts.
me and her not just go through that conversation?
Yes, John, that's
No,
what I'm
just bring
saying.
it back.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what we're aggravated as hosts is like we get bashed, but it's like if you guys come on here, we can have an honest conversation about it. And you're the first one to do that. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, yes. I would say that too. Like the athletes are closed off from having conversations about it too, which is irritating.
To be honest, like I'm glad that you've asked me because I have found it frustrating seeing so much of the media space, actually bashing it a lot of the time. And it is just a case, like, I wanted to be asked about it. I wanted to be asked why I was doing it. I also wanted to be asked whether or not I was doing the Open. And I'm happy to be open about that sort of thing. And I think athletes would be open. You would hope that athletes would be open about why they're doing it. I do see that there could be issues with it, but I have also seen issues with CrossFit for the last 5 years that I've been doing it. And so to me, that's no different. And it is a new and exciting opportunity. And so why not get involved? Like, I think the thing is as well, if, and this, this could be saying something, if people don't get behind it, it's a guarantee that it will fail.
Fair.
And so it depends on what you want. I want it to work, so I want to get behind it.
No, I respect your
Same.
reasoning behind both avenues of signing up for the Open and doing the WFP. So, yeah, I think what we want is it to succeed, something to succeed.
Anything. Please, your
Anything.
God, succeed. or else we can't run our show. Please.
We got
Otherwise,
nothing
that's
to
just
talk about.
it's just Tyler and John just trying to make.
John's
money
not
on
going to
betting.
run out of stuff to talk about.
Well, Lucy,
Yeah, never.
it's
Here, tell us about your Heat game. I know we've been holding her, but she wanted to say this at the beginning of the show. We haven't talked about it.
She's so excited about it.
Yeah. Tell us
Oh,
about your Heat
okay.
game.
Right, so we bought tickets on Ticketmaster for a Miami Heat game on the Monday, the day before we fly back, and we rock up. We're half an hour late and already, which I wasn't super happy about, but whatever. Anyway, so we have to go to the ticket office because it's through a third party, and my Ticketmaster isn't working. I try and transfer the tickets to Taylor, who I'm going with. Her Ticketmaster isn't working. And they're like, well, I'm really sorry, but because it's a third party provider, there's nothing that we can do about it. And I was like, no, please. I was like, we're going home tomorrow. This is my first ever basketball game. I really want to see it. I was like, she was like, you'll be able to get a refund. I was like, okay, if we can get a refund, is there anything that we can buy right now? Is there any tickets available that we can buy? And she was like, have you got your phone? Like, just give me a minute. So I wrote down my phone number, and next thing I know, I get a text through, and it's 2 tickets. And she was like, we've just decided to gift you these tickets. So like, enjoy the game. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Anyway, so we go down and we're on.
Did
like,
you tell
the
her how
bottom
rich you were
of-
though? She wouldn't give them to you.
I don't know if you know this.
I'm telling
but,
no one.
My name is Lucy Campbell. Okay.
Oh dear. So we go down and we're on like the first tier of seating, and I was like, wow, these are way better tickets than we bought. And we keep going down, and I'm like, where is row 4? Anyway, row 4, like at the front. And I was like, what the hell? So we're like at the front in the corner next to the tunnel where the Miami Heat players go in and out. And Taylor and I were just like, we haven't a clue what's going on in this whole game, but we're having a great time. It goes to double overtime. Miami Heat eventually win. So we're like high-fiving the players as they go back in the tunnel and everything like this. And then we start talking to the security guard, and he was like, oh, you're going home tomorrow? Like, we were like, yeah, just thought we'd treat ourselves to the last event. He was like, cool, give me your phone. So he took us onto the court. We had a picture on the court, and I was like, this is the best ever finish to this event. Like, it could not have gone better. Anyway, so that's my...
It's better than winning TYR
Let's go
Wodapalooza.
Heat.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad. We're more happy about being on a Heat game than winning Wodapalooza.
No, it's just so novel. What is the I got so lucky. I had such a lucky weekend. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
maybe don't send me your money to gamble. I don't know if you can come up that lucky again.
Oh dear.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
was cool.
All right, Lucy. Thank you for coming on. We didn't.
John's pushing you off. Get out of here.
No, we didn't need to have you on this long.
I
know
will
it's
say, if you didn't see like the thumbnail, John is doing the Games Mountain very soon.
I'll watch it back.
I would recommend watching it back. So
I can't wait to see.
Lucy,
Cool.
good job this weekend.
Hopefully, you're
It
not
was-
as mad at my predictions as you are at this mountain.
It was the
Oh,
most
dear.
inspiring moment that I've seen from CrossFit in 10 plus years. For
It
sure.
was. It was the best thing all weekend. And I don't remember another moment in Wodapalooza that was as good as this moment.
Absolutely. zero.
Okay, show girl. That was John's message to me after I won that last week. Oh, dear. Cool.
well, thank you,
guys.
Lucy. Go get some sleep. I
Cheers.
appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
girl.
I think she had to been the longest guest of all
Interview?
time.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Lucy, can you stop by for 15, 20 minutes? And then-
Dude, I mean, she's great, man. I feel like we talked about, so she's probably, if we have a superlative, I bet she wins best guest, and we had her in
Mhm.
January.
I wouldn't be surprised. We better get going. All right.
Yeah,
I'm in it for 3 hours, man. I'm
we're
ready.
not going to make it.
I'm ready.
We're going
Let's
for a
go.
marathon. We're going to be the longest show of the day, which we still got another like 2.5 hours to do that. All right, we're going to do some viewer comments because love you guys for putting the comments down there. Games Mountain, some blind rankings, and I want you to stay around for some open stuff. I have something that nobody knows about teams and the open.
You, of all
I-
people, has news?
I do. So
When you
it's
say nobody
interesting.
knows it, do we not know it either?
Actually, I'm going to say one other person knows this.
Are we
but-
supposed to
but
know it?
No, you do not know
Okay,
this.
okay.
We know nothing.
You
John.
know nothing.
I'm sorry, half the time I know something. I don't know. I don't.
You do
really
not know
this.
Nobody, I can almost guarantee nobody knows this inside the whole media space yet. All right, first one at FIBO 7013. Have you looked into Hustle Up, the new CrossFit partner? Dave mentioned them in his weekend review. Couldn't find much. Such a small partner. What do they bring to the table?
A lot of cash.
This is
They,
weird. I'm gonna move you over.
Yeah, thank you. I was feeling.
Yeah, we gotta
Corner.
get it. Yeah, that was really clever, Tyler.
I'll tell you what, Hustle Up, I think they're tied into what's the apparel brand? Northern Spirit.
Northern Spirit. I about said Northern Face.
And I'll tell you what they bring to the table. Money. They are paying money, and that always helps.
Cash
Outside of
spins,
that,
buddy.
They are they're basically like a online programming site, like a Fitter, Wodify, whatever
Yep.
sites.
Be on the whiteboard.
Yeah, SugarWad, those types of things. But they're primarily, it seems like, in Europe. At Dave Tun writes, can we please just give appreciation for JY's mom in the comments? I would watch this show just in hopes of her comments making it into the show.
Always appreciate
Yeah,
Mrs. Young.
Shelley. Yeah. At Nick Hope. JY whining about Wodapalooza, not listening to them sounds a lot like the PFA whining about Dave Castro never listening to them. Come on, JY, they'll listen. They may just not do what you want.
That's fair, man. You got me.
I'll tell you what, I was chatting with Dylan this morning. He was listening.
And he just chooses not to.
We'll find out. We'll find out. I gave him some thoughts about the upcoming SoCal. We'll see if they implement it. Lee Frazier, she donated $9.99 to pay JY's debt. So appreciate you, Lee. And last one, at Everyone's BFF. We have always loved and appreciated Caleb's support of shows, especially on the back end. But man, having him on Spin has unlocked a new hero cheat code.
Dude, Caleb was great.
Caleb,
was,
yeah.
I felt like we saw a new side of Caleb.
I know you unshackle him from the back
keyboard
end
and
having to
mouse.
worry about doing all the lookup for Savan, and man, kind of funny.
He was great. Be even better if he just popped up all of a sudden.
And he's back.
Yeah. Daily reminder, weekly reminder to sign up, subscribe, do all that stuff, and then leave a comment so we can read it off next week. John, it is time.
All right.
Where do you want? Do you want to start on the mountain or not the mountain?
Base
let's start on. Nope, it's something different. Let's start at not the mountain.
Not the mountain. All right, we are starting on Bunny Hill.
This is essentially
Training slopes.
No, worse. This is who fell off the mountain. Okay, they were on the mountain at some point and they fell off of it.
They are not. There's just
They're
one
not at
slide.
base camp. Yeah, this is.
There's no more base camp. This is the people who are relegated down much lower.
You barely even are here. You know.
Wait a minute. Was that the Haley Adams?
No, that's
No.
not. That's not the
That's
Haley
the
Adams.
fake
I know it looks like it could be the
It
real
sure
Haley
looks like
Adams,
it.
but
Oh, yeah.
that's not. That's not.
We know Mayhem loves the spin, so
Huge fans.
maybe they're all at the gym, have it on the big screen.
Watch party.
Yeah, why
Every
not?
Wednesday night at Mayhem.
That's right.
Gosh, it's about to go on.
Yeah. Hurry up your training. You got to finish your training.
Luke, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's good. And
I would think less of them if they were like that. Honestly, like I wouldn't even appreciate it fully. Like
Somebody goes and picks up Chick-fil-A and they eat some Chick-fil-A to watch the spin. All right, John, here we go. Bunny Hill.
All right. These people used to be on the mountain and now they're not, for obvious reasons for some. Gabby was on her ascent, and then as the last jump to the top, tore her Achilles and fell down the mountain. The same thing happened to Bethany Flores, but her back broke again.
I
and
wonder
she
if
had to fall back down.
If Bethany has climbed and descended the mountain more times than any other athlete.
I think Bethany has started to climb, like just barely. Like, I think I'll try to climb this mountain. Nope.
Too steep. Not enough oxygen.
Yep. Saxon and Paige and Yona Koski and Yella Hosta, all four of them, like, were on the mountain. They felt good about being on the mountain. You're going to start a journey, if you will, to the top. And then they just weren't cut out for it. They were better people, right? People just started passing them, and then they just kept going down. They were on their way. They were like, I want to climb it, but I'm just not a good enough climber to do it. And that's why they are here. Brent Fikowski, avid mountain climber, one of the best, some would say. Never made it to the top, but did do some 13s in his previous life. Did some 12s and 13s. Never quite got up to the top of a 14. My rock climbers know what I'm talking about. And just decided to retire. So he's on his way out. This Bunny Hill, as we're going to call it, the people who fell off the mountain. This will change a lot because people will fall off for various reasons. It's basically just going to be the last people to fall off, right? That's what this is.
For
Question for you,
Fikowski.
as we get to the mountain, if someone skips the games for World Fitness Project, do they get kicked off the mountain?
Great question. Well, it is called the 2025 Games Mountain. So if they skip the games for the World Fitness Project, then yes, they will fall off the mountain.
Yeah, somebody has to make the World Fitness Mountain.
And no, you know what? Somebody DM'd me. They were like, "Are you going to make a World Fitness Project mountain?" And I said, "Hard pass. Hard pass on that."
I thought you were supportive.
I am.
I thought you wanted to succeed.
I do. I'm not making a mountain out of it.
Sounds like it's time for me to make a mountain.
Tyler Watkins, Trash Hill.
The molehill. Fikowski, all right. Everybody's got to come off the mountain sometimes. And we appreciate your service.
It's no hard. Yeah. This is not a bad thing for Fikowski. Gabby's just injury. And the 4 and the 5 others, you might climb it again one day, but right now there are better people.
That sounds like a shitty pep talk when you're not good enough to be on the team.
Listen, when you fall off the mountain, that's exactly what you get, Tyler. That's as JR would say, that's what you've earned. Okay.
Yep. It is motivation.
Everybody in the world wants Saxon Panchik to be able to climb the mountain.
He was on there earlier.
I do not understand why.
3 months ago, he was on the mountain.
That's why he's here. That's why he's fallen off, and he's not here, right? But everybody wants Saxon Panchik to be on that mountain, and he consistently falls off. Okay. All right, let's go to the actual mountain.
Not even base camp. Hell with base camp.
No, we're passing that up. We're going straight to the mountain today. Here we go.
All right, bottom row. Emily Rolfe falls a little bit. Her team won, but she didn't. Or no, her team didn't win. No, she got 4th place, and team didn't do. I mean, was pretty average for individual. She falls down a row. Not a big deal. She's still one of the fittest women in the world. Gracie hasn't done anything. She doesn't move. Colton hasn't done anything. He doesn't move.
Colton's size still.
I don't put a lot of stock into. Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into team. So like Domit, I don't. Haley Adams, I don't put a lot of stock into it.
It's a great photo of Haley.
It's an amazing photo.
Amazing photo. Not as good as Colton, but it's up there. Emma Tall in the running to win Wodapalooza. At an event that should have been good for her. I don't know what happened. Savon thinks it's a mental breakdown. I would like to think it wasn't. I
think it's an injury.
In the middle of that work? She had it running into
I think she had something going on at Rogue.
Same thing. Regardless, I'm going off of results. Emma Tall drops a row. Emily Rolfe drops a row.
Emma Tall she's in jeopardy of going off the mountain.
It's possible. It's possible. But as of right now, I'm not going to take people off the mountain until it happens.
Until
okay?
it's done.
Until it's a done deal.
Yeah.
All right. Next row.
Here we go. Going up the mountain.
All right.
Ooh, look at this mountain.
Some big
Look at this
names.
row.
Some big names. If we look at the names, these are your who's who of
Sticky
CrossFitters.
Ricky.
But Ricky, got hurt at the games. Didn't do great at Wodapalooza.
I'm surprised he didn't get hurt going down the mountain like he did going down the box steps during.
Twisted
Chad.
ankle. Well, see, he didn't tear his Achilles. He just twisted his ankle. That's why he didn't fall all the way down the mountain. But tried to come back. Fourth is fine, but it's not Ricky Garrard. Ricky Garrard wins these things, right? He's in the running to be in the top of the mountain one day once Tia decides to take a helicopter off. Tia will never fall off. Tia will take a helicopter off.
Just hella flight
Right,
out.
right.
She'll fly out to the High Rocks mountain.
Yeah.
She'll
High
send to
High Rocks
into
Mountain.
the heavens.
And Roman, we just haven't seen a lot of him. Last time we saw him, he was at the games and he was lackluster. I know he was competing injured. I know that.
Yeah, every time he's injured.
Right. It's almost
He's
like
hurt right now.
I have to see it for him to climb. I can't just go off of potential. Right. Justin, we saw him that team and that's it. And I think Justin, honestly, Ricky seems like he's on his way down. And I don't think he's on his way down, but something always happens with Ricky. A lot of times stuff happens with Roman. Justin, I think, has the ability to climb. We just haven't seen it. And so I can't put him any higher than this. Ariel and Brooke, I know they were both sick and dealing with stuff, but due to other performances, I pushed them down on the mountain. Okay.
Like Ariel's third place at Rogue.
Well, no, she was higher after the Rogue Mountain. Wodapalooza is an update.
Brings it back down. Okay.
Yeah. You can't get 17th at Wodapalooza, Brian, and just be like nothing happened.
It's what you've done for me lately. I thought Wodapalooza didn't matter. I thought Wodapalooza did not matter.
Okay, listen.
Calm down, John.
Listen.
It's okay.
Wodapalooza, if she got 17th, if it was just what have you done for me lately, she'd be all on Bunny Hill off the mountain. Okay. She's not off the mountain. She just dropped a row. You're still there. It's not what have you done for me lately. It's the whole thing as it progresses.
It's obviously not what have you done for me lately because Emma Lawson's on here and she's done nothing for
Emma
anyone
Lawson's
lately.
done nothing for you lately. Nothing. She did start a podcast, which honestly almost dropped her a row. It was really, really close.
But then she won the team competition. So.
That doesn't do much for me. But listen, I believe in Emma Lawson. I know I've said that before.
This is one blind spot.
I believe in Emma Lawson. And, you said that before with Austin Hatfield. And how's he looking? He's looking like a mountain climbing extraordinaire. Okay, I don't want to hear
West Virginia. He's forced.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Brooke honestly should have done better than she did. I know she was sick, but I can't. You can't. I expect Brooke and Emma. And honestly, Ariel, to climb. Okay, I expect them to climb.
I'm curious who they're going to climb over.
We will see. All right, next row. All right, now I know you might be shocked that Austin is here. You might have thought he might have been in the upper row.
I was waiting for him to be at the top.
Listen, the mountain is not biased. Okay, it's an honest. It's an honest tapestry of fitness. Okay. That is what it is. An honest tapestry of fitness. And Austin, had he beaten Vellner, and listen, he should have, but he didn't. Okay. Austin finally showed the world what he's capable of. And I think everybody's starting to see what I said 2 years ago. Okay. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you said it a year ago.
He hasn't done it, and he has to do it for him to be higher. He has to do it. If he won Wodapalooza, oh my gosh, I might have tilted Tia a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. But
tilted her, not dropped her.
No, I do it, knock her down. But I might have tilted her a bit, okay? But he did it. He hasn't done it. And the mountain is unbiased, an unbiased tapestry of fitness, okay? And that's why you're the computer. Go adjust Lucy Campbell's rating. Okay, that's what you should do. Danielle Brandon and Alex Kazan, I kind of put them in the same boat. I think depending on the events, one can finish on top of the other. They are perennial top 10 on a good competition, top 5. That's how I believe in them. I think Alexis Raptis has amazing potential. I know she was sick in the weekend too, but I can't put her higher than the people that I have above her until she beats them. Now, I think she could beat them, but she hasn't done it. And so until she does it, that's where she's going to be. Jay Crouch, he was impressive at Rogue. He was good at the games. Jay Crouch is very consistent when he does events. I did not want to drop Jay Crouch. I almost put Ricky there and put Jay down a row. Jay's done nothing for him to go down a row. So that's why Ricky and Roman, their fitness capabilities are higher, but they haven't been doing it. And that's why they dropped under Jay, because Jay has shown consistency. Go ahead.
Melody says Raptis was healthy.
She was sick. She was sick this weekend, but she's always sick and just handled it a lot better than everybody else that was sick. Is that fair?
That's fair. Vicky74, an unbiased tapestry of fitness should be on a T-shirt of a mountain. Sounds like a slogan for mountain climbing.
We might have to look into that, Miss Vicky.
John loves buying T-shirts, so there's a good chance he might buy 300 of them.
Steven, don't question how the mountain's made. I've run down that rabbit hole 3 or 4 times, and it leads nowhere. So,
Steven, if I was pulling just data from the mountain, stop being retarded, Steven, first of all. Okay? Austin would be higher than this. Ricky wouldn't be here. Okay? Roman didn't do it at all. Ariel was 17th place. Okay? A lot of these people didn't do Wodapalooza, but it does affect your placement a little bit, right? Rogue would affect your placement more. The games affect your placement the most, okay? Don't be retarded. It's an unbiased tapestry of fitness. Just roll with me. Next row.
Next one. Here we go.
All right, these are your 4 big dogs.
All dudes.
Yeah, these are your 4 big dogs. These guys, and again, so badly I wanted to put Austin with these guys. But Pat,
there's only a row for 4.
There's only room for 4, and Austin beat Pat. And the
should have bumped Adler down.
Pat beat Austin.
Listen, the Mayhem Classic, I believe it's going to have all of them except Jeff. I think it's going to have Hopper, Vellner, Pepper, and maybe not Vellner. It's going to have Hopper and Pepper and Hatfield. And the Mayhem Classic might adjust the mountain even more, because that's going to be the first time a real deal Austin, who's mentally capable of execution, is going to go against those two. And I'm super excited for it. Vellner, I will not drop Vellner until he doesn't podium or top 5 at the games, because this is where that row is top 5 at the games or podium. Top 5 podium. This is not where your winners are, and Vellner will never climb because he will not win. Something will always happen. He will not win. He's seen the peak of his powers, and I don't think he's on the decline, but I don't think he's getting any better. You know, does that make sense? So, yeah. But I can't drop him until people start beating him, and not very many people do, right?
Couple things. First, I think Pat deserves to be there. He earned it by his performance with Jason and Hopper, Dallin, and Medeiros on the Sunday night show. Pat was on fire.
The
blue moon or whatever he was drinking.
I got you.
Blue moon.
The mountain does not care about your personality, or Jason Hopper would be much lower. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding.
Hold on. Did you, Phil wants to know, did you use an Excel spreadsheet and a calculator for this?
I might be even a piece of paper as well, Phil.
I would almost guarantee the piece of paper first.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that might have wrapped in that. If personality went into this, Jeff spoke like 6 words in an hour. If you go back and watch that, right?
That's a record.
Yeah. Vicky, are we going to Mayhem? I mean, I'm sure they're going to just roll out the red carpet for us. Yeah. Being that, we're their favorite
Why do
show.
they not like us? We like them.
I think they like us. I think they do like us.
Okay. We are good enemies to have.
I don't think we're enemies.
We're not enemies. We're good.
Whatever that means.
Heels. We're heels.
Listen. I wanted to drop Jeff so bad for doing team and not individual, yes, like to say that 4 days is too much whenever you do the games, when you do Rogue, it pissed me off so much. And I get it. I'm speaking from a very poor chair. I understand that.
Yeah, but we
Like,
sat at that chair for 4 straight days doing how many shows?
You're right,
Back to
but
back.
I'm not going to compare a physical toll that I don't know about what I'm just talking. But if Pat can do it, Jeff can freaking do it. That's all I know. I respect Pat. Like, Pat's done a lot of things this last year that I just really makes me not like him. And I don't know he doesn't care about my opinion at all. But I respect Pat. Pat is consistent. He's, again, until somebody beats him, I'm not moving him. Jeff does so many things that are just like, man, if you're the fittest man in the world, you want to be known as the fittest man in the world, then be a little BA. Like, go freaking do some stuff. Don't tell me 4 days is too much for your body to handle. Everybody in the world knows that Jeff is probably the fittest person on the earth right now. And he doesn't want to do it. Like, it's so mind-boggling. And again, I understand that I might be speaking from nothing, right? I understand that. People don't have to care about what I'm saying at all. But that's my opinion of Jeff. I want him to do more than he does. I want to hear him more. I want to hear him 6 words in an hour-long interview.
He could have taken 4th just if he had competed in individual.
He did take 4th.
I know he would have gotten 4th if he had done individual first.
I'm glad you saved yourself for team.
Yeah.
That big 4th place, y'all would have been 8th place if you did it individual. Like, it's ridiculous.
I think you have to pay Wodapalooza in 4th place.
I can't drop Jeff any lower because he's the fittest guy on that row. He is.
Grant, let's keeping it real. Now in the red, even if John pays me.
If these 4 guys though, this row, these 4 guys,
Denied.
These are. This is your top 5. This is your top 5 of guys. Like, their top 5 material in any given competition. I would pick these 5 guys, even with Austin below them. Austin has to earn his right to be up there, and he hasn't done that yet. But he has. I think I put Austin where he's at very prematurely, just because I knew what he was. But now I feel like Austin's earned that spot where he is at, and he has not earned a spot to be with those guys until he beats them.
That's fair enough. Here we go.
All right.
Horvath, James Sprague, and Lucy Campbell. Those have to be the biggest mountain climbers.
All right. Yes.
That?
By far.
Campbell went straight
Told
to
you,
the
Lucy.
top.
I told you to watch this, Lucy.
Yeah. Lucy Campbell went from nobody. She didn't even know where the mountain was to now she's the second highest person on the mountain. I can't put her over Laura.
There's still
Female.
2 more rows, John.
Well, female. Second highest female.
Okay. Oh.
I can't put her higher than. Yeah, there's 2 more rows. Forgot about that.
Okay.
The second row is going to be interesting. I can't put her higher than Laura because even though she beat Laura, and she did, she's the only person to beat Laura in 3 freaking years, semifinals not included. That says something, man. Like Lucy, I know Lucy will probably drop. I know that. But I'm not going to put Lucy lower than this until people beat her in a competition. And if people don't, she'll stay there. If people do, she'll drop. But for the time being, that Wodapalooza moment, I don't care. I don't care if people say it's what have you done for me lately. Very few athletes. I want you to understand this. The people, please understand this. Very few athletes, period, have done a competition that was amazing as what Lucy pulled off. And the only one I can think about offhand is standing right next to her in James. And he did it twice. James, I believe only 3 guys have been on the top of the mountain, and that's Jeff and Dallin, and now it's James Sprague. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Spin, but I think that's the top. Since we've done the mountain, there's been 3 guys.
Did you have Ricky and Roman near the top?
Not solely at the top. Okay. I'm talking about this is the fittest guy on the planet. And James is for right now, James, as far as the men go, he is on top of the mountain. And I don't care what anybody says. If Jason texts me 2 minutes from now saying you're all, what have you done for me lately? I don't care. He beat you at the games. Too. If you win the freaking games and win Wodapalooza and you had pneumonia at Rogue, the whole year, James has been doing it. And the way he did it, right? Like the Wodapalooza had so much pressing. So much
more
pressing.
about the way he did it.
Wodapalooza was not made for James to win. And he's improved his weaknesses enough where and I know he's always a better bench presser than people give him credit for, but to beat Pat in a muscle up workout, I would have never seen that coming. To be second to Austin in a gymnastics, legless rope climb, wall facing handstand push up. I know the dumbbell's heavy, but dude, freaking Vellner is here. Ricky is here. Like, none of y'all are with him, and he's earned his place on top of the mountain for the men. I don't care what anybody says. If you look at the whole season from the games until now, no other guy has done more in the sport than James Sprague. And I'll argue that for anybody, okay? Winning matters. I don't care how many times you've been second place or fourth place. Winning matters, right?
Yeah, Pat.
And if Jeff wants to be on top, then freaking do a competition, Jeff. I dare you not to do the Open, Jeff. I dare you. You'll be off the mountain so fast, Jeff. I swear, Jeff, if you don't do this game season, man, I honestly can't do anything. But I will think so less of you. I could not think more less. And I know my opinion means nothing, but I just feel very strongly in that. Laura Horvath, very sucky performance on her part. I've never seen a worse performance on Laura's part. It was like she lost all of her strength without gaining on her weakness. It was like a double whammy, right? Spin, you said she looked smaller, and I thought she did too. And we thought she'd be better. And it's not a hard handstand push-up workout. It's not like, if you ask anybody, it's a big shoulder pump.
Right.
But those aren't hard handstand push-ups.
She did well in quarterfinals last year.
Yeah. And for her to take and I know she got shafted. And I know without getting shafted, she would have beaten Lucy. It doesn't matter. It happened, and you couldn't overcome it. If
How'd
Laura
she get
wins,
shafted?
it would. If you count her reps in the first round of handstand push-ups, and then you're like, "Oh no, you can't do that," I think that's getting shafted. Like, she figured out a way to cheat the system. But I'm saying,
but she should have had no reps.
It
the first
doesn't matter.
21.
She wasn't. You can't just in the middle of the workout say, "Oh, you have to change."
Yeah,
what
but
you're
at
doing.
that point, you just do the strict, and you're fine. You've now got
100%. 100%.
You've now gotten.
If you either cut it, you cut it in the middle. You cut it right in the beginning, or you don't cut it. If Olivia Kerstetter at Crash, if JR is like, "Hey, you can't do that thing with your hips that you're doing," she'd be effed. And it doesn't matter. She found a way to get around it. That's what she's doing. And then the next time you're like, "Hey, you can't do that."
No, you call a no rep when the head judge comes over.
I disagree completely. And I've talked with, I feel like JR would disagree too, honestly. I'm not going to speak for him, but I feel like,
you want to call him?
He's sick right now.
Just
but
call
you go
him.
ahead. Yeah, I've already.
I feel like
I think but whether you think she got shafted or not, I think she got shafted. But if you're Laura Horvath at the 2023 games, the Laura Horvath of old, the monster that we know that can win 6 events, like Tia can't even beat Laura in the events that she wins. You win the lifting event, you still win. If she wins the lifting event, she still wins. When has she ever been that weak? When has Kyra Milligan been stronger? Annika Greer can't even ride in a car without a car seat. Right? And she beat Laura in that lifting event. Right? When has that ever
Laura
happened?
felt like she was mailing it in. It was weird. And then the 250 was not as easy as I thought it would be. But she did hit the 250 like I thought she would. Just Kyra and Annika lifted more.
Yes, Spin. You called it. She hit 250.
There you go.
Typically, she is stronger than what she did, and she wasn't. And if you're not going to be good at handstand push-ups, if you're going to be that bad, you have to be able to do your strengths.
Maybe Laura was sick.
Could have been.
Maybe I haven't heard that she was sick, but maybe.
I haven't checked Christoph's stories, so
I'm cool with you being bad at wall facing handstand push-ups, but you still need to be good at the stuff that you're amazing at. And Tia can't beat her in lifting events, and for her to be that weak, and it was hard. It wasn't like she just did it. She was weaker.
right.
Noticeably weaker. And so that's on her. But I'm not going to drop her lower than this. It's the third row. We still have 2 more rows. So let's go ahead
I
and
have
show the
no
second row.
idea who could be in this next row, John.
Yeah, we have 2 more
I
rows.
feel like I finally understand the mountain. And
You
I
are
could
not going
explain
to
it.
understand. You're not.
I-
gonna understand.
I do. I
So
finally
who's the next
understand it.
row? Who's the next row, Tyler?
Couldn't tell you, but when I see it, I'll know it.
Okay.
I get it, and I couldn't explain it to anybody. It's a temperature gauge.
It's one of those things where you see it, you just know it. All right, here we
Yeah.
go. The next to the top row.
just like porn. The game's mountain.
Whoa.
What?
What?
It's
Okay.
vacant.
What is going on?
Now I don't understand.
Yeah.
I was so close.
Yeah, the second row. Nobody has earned their right to be on the second row. Okay? Nobody. Right? Laura was there because she, for on like
There's more?
100%, Laura was the fittest woman that wasn't Tia. She sucked bad. She drops down. Lucy, you are amazing. I love you. You got to do it more than once to be on the second row. The second row is heralded. Because you got to think, the second row is the fittest person in the world. That's not Tia. Right? For the men, James is the fittest man on earth. But to be solidly like, it is not debatable. Nobody can debate. This man is the fittest man on earth. Y'all can't touch him. You can't do it. Then he's got to do it one more time. If he does it one more time, like James, I think James is at Mayhem Classic. If he gets a spot at Mayhem Classic and beats 2 of these guys, that he's already ahead, I will put James, who he will be in the second row. But you got to do it one more time for me. Okay. One more time, then James in the second row, 2 rows away from the next man. Right. And then for the women, Lucy, it's there for you. If you do it one more time, James is in the second, or you're in the second row. Right.
Somehow this
But-
makes sense to me.
Right now, nobody has earned their way to be in the second row. Honestly, James is probably the closest. But I felt like I already put James ahead of all of the men.
But he's not 2 spots above
Well,
anybody.
I didn't want to jump him like he's just that
He's
much
not-
better, right?
He's not 2 rows above anybody.
Right. Exactly. All right. Y'all better be careful because if Austin's first place at Mayhem Classic, he might jump 4 rows and that's where he's at.
Jesus.
You better be careful. You better not let that happen. Oh my goodness.
Because Sprague's going to be there. It's going to be Sprague, Hopper, Pepper, Hatfield,
And Roman.
Dude,
It's going to be a freaking bloodbath. I'm so excited for Mayhem Classic.
Dennis, in a weird way, sort of.
Right now, that second
Sort of.
row is up for grabs. Who wants it? All right. Whoever wants it, that second row is all you. James is the fittest man on earth. You cannot be debated. He's at the top of the mountain for the men. Laura sucked. Lucy, amazing. Any girls that are underneath the mountain, you got to do something great. Okay. That's honestly the best comment you've ever had, CrossFit. I'm incredibly annoyed with you all the time, but that was a good one. That's the first good one you've had in a long time. Anyway, second row is up for grabs. Whoever wants it, it's up for grabs. Go get it. Okay, last row
Tia.
is of course it's going to be Tia. You can't debate it. Like I don't even want to talk about her. Obviously, she's the best one. But blah blah blah. But this right now is the game's mountain. It will be updated again once other stuff happens. Okay. It's an ever progressing, unbiased tapestry of fitness. It's beautiful.
Unbiased.
Was there anything wrong that you would say, Tyler? Go ahead and tell me where I'm wrong.
Lawson, I'm actually okay with everything else. I don't.
Wow. Justin Lawson. Okay.
I don't understand why I understand this right now. Maybe I'm in the zone or I'm in the whatever stream of consciousness John's in, but it's all making sense in the weirdest way. Actually, the vacant spots, made it make more sense. After my mind got blown, I was like, now I get it.
Clip that. After my mind got blown, now I get it.
There you go. Games Mountain, 1 month away from the CrossFit Open. Go to games.crossfit.com and sign up. Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Put a lot of work into this. A lot of
I
paper.
like it. I like it. I think it's time. I gotta change my. There we go. Blind rankings. I should probably get set up here.
Make it real quick.
Yeah, I need to make it, fix it. That would help.
Games landfill would be fun.
But I put your favorite person at the top, and you're going to tell me
Tia?
that you don't like it? No, James is his favorite person.
Oh.
I don't think you understand like the prestige of Games Mountain, Grant. You don't just get up to the second because you've won 2 competitions. You got to do a lot. A lot has to happen.
It's true. That's true. Blind rankings. We're just a couple days removed from Wodapalooza, TYR Wodapalooza. So we're going to go look back, reminisce, and rank TYR Wodapalooza happenings.
John, I'm going to have to lean on you for this, possibly.
Things that happened at TYR Wodapalooza.
I'll do stories if we need it. Okay, I got you.
All right. Let's see how you guys rank things. All right, first one. The women's finale.
This one?
The women's TYR Wodapalooza finale.
The one that just happened?
Don't.
Yes.
Oh, this isn't history. Okay, Blues is number 1. Easy.
Well, is this a trap?
Doesn't matter. This is the best thing that happened.
Okay.
There is no trap. There is nothing better. This was one of the most amazing moments I've ever seen.
Are you sure?
What could be?
I just feel like there might be a trap here.
What they say? How opposite of bad production.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe that's number 1, but no. I women's finale.
Okay. All right. Next one. The sandbox.
Ooh,
You
that
see it
should've
right
been
there.
number
Do you
1.
like
I'm
the
just kidding.
sandbox?
It was
This is 5 for me.
5.
Man. Dude.
Yeah, it was a solid 5.
5. Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
the
It's
sole reason Austin didn't get second.
so therefore -6.
It's 5 for me.
I'm really curious to know when they brought out the pallets to flatten it out. Would that have fixed the issues with the sleds on Thursday?
I mean, if I saw nobody getting wrecked in the sand while others weren't getting wrecked in the sand, if I just saw equality, I wouldn't be mad at it.
John's a big equality guy.
You want some equity, I think.
Do
is
not
what you meant equity.
do not rope me in. Listen, 2028 Vans. Okay, don't tell me I'm something else.
All right. All right. Next one. The move to March.
Oh, this would have been a 5.
Yeah, that would have been a 5. Yeah,
4.
I'm with you.
It has the possibility of
Dude, he's
being
gonna say the
a
broadcast. He's gonna say the broadcast. Hold on. Stop it.
What?
He's gonna say the broadcast.
What do you want?
Do we want to put that forth? The stream?
run. No, because I can argue that it was actually awesome.
Stop, Tyler, please.
I can.
I won't listen to that argument.
No, you will though. It's gonna be like the blank vacant spots.
Okay, I can't argue with that.
All right. You got 2 and 3 left. Average and slightly better than average. Here we go. The live stream.
Number 2. Because of predictions that I made 6 months ago, to me, this is a number 2.
John,
It's a
you
win.
agree?
What? Tell me why. Let him explain his case. It's 3, and it should be 5. But let him explain his case. Go ahead.
For me,
I'm ready to listen.
for me and me alone, I said that this was going to happen. I told people who needed to know it was going to happen, and then it happened. And I'm not happy that it happened, but I like being right.
But it happened.
And that's why it's number 2.
Hold on. So you're saying you predicted it to be terrible, And since it was terrible, you want to put it number 2.
Yeah.
But not only that, you didn't not just predict it. He told somebody that he predicted it.
He told the guy that was in charge of it.
I have no idea who he told.
I don't either. I told it to a few people.
Who's in charge of it?
I have no idea. Loud.
Live.
Mr. Loud?
Mr. Mr. Loud and Mr. Live.
All right. That's fine. I don't care anymore.
I think we're going to be sitting pretty after this.
I think you're. Here we go, and the last one.
The award ceremony.
Hey Jose.
Non-existent.
Hey Jose.
It's gonna be.
I think you're right.
Oh, I see what you did,
Oh,
dude.
man.
This would have been not bad. I think you need to take
Bill.
a picture of this and send it to Bill, Chase, and Brian in a group text. That's what I think you should do.
It did deserve. They did deserve to.
They deserve to. I know you're saying one. Nothing beats that women's finale.
Nothing beats the women's finale.
To see her have the gladiator stance with Laura failing a ring muscle up in the background. I could have made a poster out of that.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Not bad.
TYR Wodapalooza happenings. Yeah, I like it. All right, we got 10 minutes left to go through open stuff. Lots of open stuff going on. I even had to take notes on this open stuff because there's so much stuff going on.
Drawing arrows.
So much.
You put it on a whiteboard and a piece of paper. I hear that helps.
It does.
I honestly have no idea what he's talking about. So
For me either.
like,
Would you want to go through the news first or the special thing
Let's
that
go.
nobody knows?
Let's go through the.
Let's do the news. Let's do the
News first?
news,
All
yeah.
right. We'll just keep dragging them along. All right. If you just joined, I'm going to share.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'm going to share something about the open teams here in a bit that nobody knows
It's gonna
about.
blow your socks off.
Yeah. Before we get into the actual CrossFit stuff, I do want to direct you to this leaderboard. World Fitness Tour Challenger Qualifier #1.
Spins in second.
The
Second place, ready to challenge.
bar is, but I was #1 for a while. You can now sign up for the Challenger Qualifier.
Are there any workouts
locked and
announced?
loaded? No workouts yet. No workouts yet. But I feel pretty good. I think
Pretty good about it.
yeah. I mean, the top 30 get into top 10 go into the pro division to compete, and the next 11 through 30 get to go in.
And there's only
I think I'm
13
right now. I'm
people.
a pretty solid lock to become a challenger and get some points on the board early on.
It does make me want to sign up really bad.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to sign up really bad too.
Right.
Would you
on
guys
the-
pay to go see us at a WFP event? Compete
Yeah.
to go to the pro?
Oh, dude, would you? Because you're not getting paid, right? Like this dude's the challenger.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm not in the top 10 of the qualifier, I'm after that. It's really just for pride and a few points on the scale of.
Yeah, man.
World
I mean,
Fitness Project.
if I made it, if Spin was like, I'm not paying for your flight, like I'm not going.
I'd pay for your flight to go out there. I'd
Really?
sponsor you. I'd sponsor you. Yeah.
Well, how come you're not sponsoring me for Grid League? I don't have any. I don't have any
Different.
things.
That's different.
Yeah. Maybe Harry from ESC Sounds will hook you up.
I need money. I
The
need
headphones will be so great though. on
I
the
need a
air- on the
flight and I
flights
need
around.
food. I need flight and food. That's it.
Best he can do is give you some headphones.
Somebody was like,
the best
hey.
headphones, the best headphones out there. But
Somebody DM'd me and we were like, "Hey, if you need like some shirt and some shorts and stuff, we'll give you whatever you want." I was like, "I don't need any of that." Like,
yeah,
I
On
got
the
so
women's
many
side-
shirts.
On the women's side, Dana Peran, Jennifer Muir, Jesse Smith is going to be hanging out with Chandler, so might as well, and Lily Burkhead. So
okay,
Sign up now if you want to
go sign up if you're a female. On the male side, just you're good.
Stop. No one sign
Yeah,
up.
we got no more than 30. There's a couple spots left. Look, Aiden Buckmaster just signed up.
Dang it, Aiden.
Live on the air. All right, we're running out of spots. All right, enough of that. That's coming up in a few months. We'll get to that when I fail. All right.
You never know.
First one. Open repeat. The CrossFit Open last year, not an open repeat workout. Dave Castro now said this year we will have a repeat. What do you think about a repeat and a 3-week open?
I like it. There are a bunch of events you could do as a repeat. The deadlift, wall ball, handstand, push up one, cool. Like that's a great repeat.
They've
They're
repeated
definitely-
that twice. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
They've done it 3
If it's
times.
good enough for 2 repeats, it's good enough for 3.
It's a great test.
Yeah, no. I don't disagree.
It's got to be a long one like that.
I think 11.1 should be it. Just double unders and snatches.
Oh, I hated that one.
That'd be brutal.
Okay.
Your shoulders burn so much in that workout.
I have a biased answer of what I would love it to be, and then I have an answer where like I think it could be.
Okay.
Oh,
Do tell.
Yeah. Okay. I would love 17.3 chest to bar and snatches, and it ends on it's the one that went like 6 chest to bar, 6 snatches, 95 pounds, 3 rounds. Squat snatches. They have to be squat snatches. And then went 7, 5, 8, 4, 9, 3, 10, 2, 11, 1, and it ended on 3 rounds of 265.
It sounds like it's probably too advanced for
yeah, probably
where we are.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, fitness has not evolved. Like it's if anything, we've just gotten more and more obese. So I agree. Yeah, why do something that looks cool and makes you fit? I agree.
That's for in affiliate semifinals.
Why be explosive at all?
Or Community Cup.
But I would love that one.
Okay.
But I could see them repeating something like the long cardio ones. Like they love repeating those. They're not going to repeat 17.1 again. I could see something like 20.2. Do you remember that one?
No.
The toes to bar, double unders, dumbbell thruster one.
Yep.
It was a 20-minute AMRAP. It sucked. Like you
Terrible.
were like 12 minutes in, and then it was just like you hit a wall. Like whoever's done it, like you feel okay, even if you're going slow for about 12 minutes, and it's just something happens. And like it happened to everybody when I
the toes
did it at my gym. No, I'm just your whole body.
That's how I felt about how I felt in like round 6 of the proven.
The devil's press.
The devil's press and the double.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Me too.
I think it might be 13.5. Well, it is ascending reps of thrusters and pull-ups, and if you make it, or it's not ascending reps, it's just if you make it to the next round. So it's a 4-minute cutoffs. There's a famous video of Miko versus Rich where they both like redo it, and Miko's doing regular kipping pull-ups instead of butterfly. It's a great test. I've wanted them to repeat that one so bad. Just because
do you think they'd ever repeat it to make it like the third workout's the repeat? Or do you think it'd always be like the first or the second?
I would hope it's the first one, just so you have something to look forward to. Like
get the hype going.
I don't know. Yeah. Like then it's just new stuff after that, you know?
Yeah.
But I almost don't care. Like but if I had my choice, I'd say the first workout. But again, I don't really have a lean one way.
I feel where the Open is going, or where it's been last year, I think you definitely have to look at low skill, longer type workouts
where you qualify to make it to the end.
Not even that. Like that's kind of like the third workout where they do something like it was a couple of years ago, right? Like, it's going to be, if they do it in the first or second week, I think it's very accessible.
Yeah, they won't do a cutoff one
right
in the first week.
Right.
Like
that would suck for somebody that just goes for 4 minutes. Like you don't come back.
I'm a big fan of those workouts, though. I love workouts where it's like a work in 4 minutes and then you get another 4 minutes.
Wall ball and rowing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's interesting that they're announcing it early. Everybody then jumped on the Instagram and was like, they always program a repeat workout. I don't care. Okay. Next up, auditions. Did you see the news of
Yeah,
far.
but I've only seen this like lightly. So the progression of events were that Dave said we want to host an in-affiliate semifinal
Yep.
or open announcement,
Yeah.
and you need to audition.
Yeah. So let me see if I can pull it up here. I have a video. Where Dave was on his weekend review and he was asked by maybe David Weed. Maybe that was the question.
Thanks, David.
About is he going to host or do one of the open announcements? And Dave was like, no. And it was very confusing at first for me watching it. It was like, well, is he saying no to the actual open announcements or no that he's going to do the
Host.
open announcement?
Yeah,
right?
host the yeah.
It sounds like they're going to do. I mean, they have athletes picked out, and then he said maybe we can have an affiliate owner make an announcement. And I don't know if that means host or just make the announcement or how they're doing it. I don't know. But here
You know what would
is
be cool is
here we'll share what
to do it
Dave
this
said,
year.
and then
You know what would be cool is if we could get affiliates to do it this year. Maybe if you're an interested affiliate in announcing an open workout, tag me in a video. Do an audition. Try out. Do an audition video. Tag me in it.
Listen very carefully. If you are going to do that, also send me the video. Take an iPhone, do a 1-minute video of you doing an open announcement. If you're an affiliate owner, send me the video at the Sevon podcast at gmail.com. Send me the video at the Sevon podcast at gmail.com. I will then gather all of those videos and I will do a live show and show those videos, and I'll have me and 2 affiliate owners, maybe like Grunler and Souza, and Brian Spin. I'll have Brian Spin, the greatest news source in the CrossFit space, and we will watch all of the videos. We will
I like that you got thrown in.
3 to 5 videos, and I'll push it to Dave.
We'll select affiliate owners to do at least one, maybe. Let's say one open announcement.
You guys hear me? Make on Instagram, which would be it's going to get lost on there. I mean, still probably do it and tag him. Send me the videos. I will curate those. I will make sure they get to Dave.
You know what would be cool?
so there you go.
Did you cut that? That was good cut.
I went back and forth. But they've already chosen locations. Okay. So I guess you get to announce
So you
it.
just
I
get
don't
to announce it.
know. Still good for your gym, I guess. I don't know. I
Trying
thought
to
it'd been
think
cooler
of
if it was
like
like actual to the actual gym. But
I think so. Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd
And they
be
need
hard
to bring that
coordinate
back.
though.
maybe you just pick the one that's close. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, go submit a video. Either way, it'd be pretty cool to be on an open announcement. Drawing a mushroom on a chalkboard. So give that a shot. One more before the big news. Last chance qualifier is the same weekend as the Community Cup.
Yep. So we're thinking that that's going to be the Community Cup.
I think that so if you go to the Community Cup tiers, so first of all, they're color coded. So like every 2 is a different. I think that's how they're going to differentiate between the different scales of programming.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see the top pro division level 10. It's the top 1%. The top 1% also go to the inaffiliate semifinals.
So if
it's
you
another
don't
redo.
go to an in-person semifinal, you can just go to the LCQ.
No, it's going to be online.
Yeah, it's still online, but yeah, you can.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another online semifinal, but it's going to be like 1 week of 5 workouts, and they just are 3, and they submit them in a video over a weekend, and then of the 1%, you basically just get another shot at it.
It's just crazy to me that you could potentially not go to a single in-person semifinal and go to the LCQ and potentially make it to the games. Will that happen? More than likely, no, but it could happen.
No, it will happen. I think.
He's saying
not go.
You skip
Okay.
the May one and just go to this, but
Yeah,
I doubt
but-
it, because if you think you can win that, you probably think you can win
The LCQ.
the semifinal.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea. I still like my idea of, hey, if you're one of the top athletes and you just miss out, go head to Albany on the Monday before the games and let's do a
that's definitely the best idea. It's just, and we could video it all, and it's a tune up for the games.
Yeah, it'd be great content ahead of the games.
You should be behind the ball because.
So Dave, call me if you want more great ideas like that. But second best, I think this is a pretty good idea. Right? If you're going to be doing the community cup, you're now doing the same workouts as the best athletes in the world again. There's more than just doing a competition, right? In your levels, like you can see some of the better athletes do it with you.
That actually makes me want to do the community cup now, and I know that's the ploy, but I wasn't going to do it, and now I would probably do it.
See if you beat anybody.
Now I need to make sure that I'm in the 90+ percentile.
Well, if you want to be in the top 88, the 88th percentile or better, you'd be probably doing the same workouts as the pro, right?
I mean, you can do them anyway, but yeah, I want to be on that leaderboard.
Right. And then show them what's up.
Just gonna bank that I'm gonna be in it.
Even with that grid lead body.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be rough. Somebody asked me if I was ready for the fittest experience, and I was like, no. Like I tested I'm the fittest experience this weekend.
Are you in the RX division again?
Yeah. Tomorrow we're driving up and then starts, and we tested the workouts. Like I've done all the workouts, and I'm getting capped every workout. like it's like this is gonna be bad. Like either everybody's getting capped or like I'm just really bad right now. And I told my girls, because I have like 5 girls doing it, right? In whatever divisions. And I'm coaching them, and I'm like, listen, do not expect me to be I'm gonna be 50th place in everything. And then just and then probably pretty good in the lifting event.
Claire will be there.
Claire's going.
But yeah, I'm going to this like I'm just here to have a good time. I'm not expecting anything about me because I'm not in the fittest of shape right now.
CrossFit, do not worry. My World Fitness Project commitment will not do the community cup. I promise you, I will be doing the community cup.
He'll just adjust his training.
I will do whatever it takes to be out there on the audition floor. Whatever it takes. Yeah, I think it's interesting. So this will be Abigail's first competition watching her daddy.
She will not be watching me. She will be
Just
at
you?
home. Yeah, and I would prefer
to watch you on TV.
I'd rather her see me do something I'm good at, not run. So that's what I would rather.
All right.
But hey, I'm gonna try to get fit for the Open. Okay, like I know we're like Grid League Central, but as soon as 405 happens, we're trying to get fit.
We got 4 weeks to
I
start
know.
the Open.
I know it's.
Is it a weighted run again?
No, you run a mile, you lunge 100 meters, which is actually pretty far with a 45-pound plate, and then you run another mile.
Oh, sorry, John.
Which is going to be great. So, and
I
then,
almost like the weighted run because it evens it out for me.
I'm a better weighted runner than I am a regular
me
runner.
too.
But yeah, it's fine. It's going to be what it is. Hopefully I don't get last place. And then
you started off strong on that row last year, and then
then I got in the mud.
Happened. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. It's time for 417 people that stuck with us. CrossFit Open teams. So if you've been paying attention to the new rules, if you're with an affiliate, only one team from your affiliate can advance to the games. So you can have multiple teams in the Open. You can have multiple teams in the semifinals, but only one can advance to the games. So if you have a bunch of athletes that are great at in your gym, what do you do?
What do you do?
Do you go to a different affiliate?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you CrossFit Hendersonville, right north of Nashville. They hosted a CrossFit Open workout a couple of years ago. I think it was 2.
Mm-hmm. With Annie Thor's daughter.
Yeah. Pretty good gym, really big gym. And if you look through the roster, do you see a soon-to-be baby daddy?
Dalton Rogers. Oh yeah.
Oh, weird.
Oh yeah. Wait
Do
a
you?
minute.
Yeah. Do you notice this other Kenzie Campbell, CrossFit Mayhem? What?
What are you alleging here, Spin?
Rebecca Devine, CrossFit Mayhem. And where's the last one? Wes Peters. Good old Wes has been with 12 Labors CrossFit the last couple weeks or last couple of years.
But somehow at Hendersonville.
They're with CrossFit Hendersonville.
So you just register elsewhere, which is what I think we thought to do.
Yeah. Is that okay? CrossFit Mayhem. Yeah. Last year's CrossFit Mayhem Liberty team, Dalton Rogers, Kenzie Campbell, Rebecca Devine, and then Wes Peters is coming from 12 Labors CrossFit.
Wait a minute. So does that mean they screwed it up last year?
No. They were on Mayhem's team. Well, Wes Peters was on 12 Labors, but now you still have Angelo's team, right? With Zoe and whoever else is on the team, Molly and whoever else. And now, what's that?
Sam.
Yeah,
Demeester.
Sam. And now their second team is now going to be traveling a few hours west to CrossFit Hendersonville.
I'm good with it. I think this is the dumbest rule. I don't understand why it's a rule. There's only a few gyms that it affects, and so I don't understand why you make it.
Well, they're trying to increase like the affiliate deal.
Right.
No one cares about teams, so just let the teams be teams.
Listen, I care a lot about teams.
Do you?
Yeah. We streamed recaps of every TYR Wodapalooza team event.
Yeah. Now, if you asked me, did you
No
have
one else
more
did.
fun
No one
watching-
else did that.
Nobody. And if you asked me, like, did you have
Because we
more
care about the
fun-
little guy.
Did you have more fun watching the strong women or the teams? Like, it's probably a tie, but we care.
Yeah, 100%
That's
we care.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Are you not good with it?
I think they messed up the rule. Like I think they should never have changed it because now
You have to do this stupid
you're
shit.
going to do this and you're just sending people like I'm waiting for Invictus to have 2 teams and instead of they're one in San Diego, the other ones are going up to Seattle or
Wherever.
send them out to Boston for 3 weeks or Miami just to have a team. And then next thing you know, you have 2 or 3 Invictus teams. You're just making
Gotta
people
do
fly all
somewhere
over
else.
the country just to do it if they're going to do it anyway. And I have no idea how CrossFit Hendersonville feels about it. I believe they're like a Mayhem affiliate. They do their programming.
Mhm.
So I mean, they're kind of part of that community, but
Then I'm double okay with it.
I think it's weird that not weird. I think it's if you're going to make the
Ridiculous.
rule, then like, I feel like you're skirting around the rule and it's not like what you should be doing. Like that's not the intent of it. But
They've not spoken about the intent. Like, no, somebody go to Dave's comment section before Monday. Preferably do it right before he's about to make his video.
I
Wad
think
Zombie's
does he
really good
do
at
it
that.
by right before? Or does he do it by number of likes now?
Wad Zombie's cheated the system several
Yeah.
times and just commented the first, like he waits
Right
right
before.
before he's So yeah, go in there
Do it
and
early
say,
and
hey,
often. How about that?
why is this a rule? What was the intent? And then say it's dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not a big deal, but I just they obviously were making a rule for a reason, and like they're not going to get what they intended to, and so you're just going to see you'll see CrossFit Hendersonville, but it's going to be mayhem. Right. So everybody's going to know it's CrossFit Mayhem.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Dalton's with Mayhem and Page.
Right.
So
They're going to have the jerseys on.
right. So
Yeah. Go with it. Hendersonville. Let's go.
that's right. It's a good gym. So I thought it was interesting. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Decent show.
it was a good show. We
Whatever happened to Danny?
Danny who?
How we would use to we would rate our shows at the end. Danny just quit doing her job. I
Oh
guess, right?
yeah. What happened? Yeah.
You know, it's just like this big toss up, and we just like there's no structure, and it's just like this kind of crazy show half the time, which makes it a little interesting and makes it fun, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's not this. I mean,
Wait.
Do you have new sound bites?
You really pulled that one?
what?
That's amazing.
Man, I feel like we crushed it.
We burned it down.
I think
We're-
Lucy crushed it. I think Lucy,
Yeah.
Lucy
I mean,
was
an
amazing.
amazing guest.
yeah, she's probably the best guest we've had ever.
Good as any.
That we've ever had. I mean, for sure. I felt bad. It was
good
it was
as
like
gets any.
2:30 in the morning, and 1:30 in the morning or something like that, and she's just still,
It seemed
Still.
like it was 2:30 in the afternoon for her.
Yeah, dude, she was wide awake. She was wide.
Yeah. She ain't going to sleep till tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, guys. For the 406 of you that stuck around with us, thank you. We will see you guys.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.